The Nigerian creator space is buzzing. From TikTok trends to YouTube channels, from brand deals to music streams, creators are shaping culture and building influence like never before. But how much of that creativity actually translates into income, structure, or opportunity? That's what the new Nigerian Creator Economy Report 2025 tries to answer, putting numbers to the people, platforms, and possibilities driving this fast-growing space. Well, on this episode of Untangle, we're breaking down what the report really says beyond the headlines and what it means for the everyday Nigerian creator, for brands, and for Nigeria's creative economy as a whole. As always, my name is Blessing Dagin. Well, to help us make sense of it all, we're joined by Michaella Ezima from Takeout Media, a strategist who is right at the heart of where digital content meets culture and business. Thank you so much for joining us, Michaella.
Thank you for having me.
Such a big pleasure.
It's such a pleasure to be here too.
All right, so we're talking about the Nigerian Creators Economy Report 2025, first of its kind, right?
Yes.
Okay, so before we go deep, can you tell us in simple terms what is this report and what it's really aimed to achieve or aims to achieve?
Okay, so like you said, the Nigerian Creator Economy Report is the first of its kind, and what it aims to achieve is the fact that when it comes to sectors that contribute to our GDP, we talk about oil and gas, we talk about agriculture, and the creator or creative economy is often left out because a lot of people see it as an informal sector. I mean, they are just skit makers and stuff. But we forget that the creator economy or the creative economy is way more than making skits and, dancing in front of camera on TikTok, right? We are exporting talent, we are exporting music, fashion, like there's a whole lot when it comes to that. And if you even look at the fashion industry, take a look at Lagos Fashion Week that just concluded, right? Yeah. We have a lot of people in diaspora saying, oh, Nigerian designers are making it. Even when it comes to Afrobeats, we have the export of Afrobeats. That's why you see a white guy on TikTok vibing to an Amapiano beat from the north, right? So we are constantly exporting our creativity, exporting our talents, and bringing in income back into Nigeria. So that is what this report aims to untangle, right? And make buzz about, like telling people, telling the government, telling policymakers that in as much as oil is there, agriculture, gas is there, there's also the Nigerian creative industries or ecosystem that is also bringing in so much money into the country. So, yeah.
Interesting. Now, it's been ages, I must say, since, the creative industry, started booming in Nigeria.
It has actually.
Exactly. So it leads me to wanting to know why do you think you guys had to think about it now? What necessitated that now is the time to, get this Creators Economy Report?
Like you said, the creator or creative economy has always been booming. If you look at even the days of those Asaba movies, when we were very young and we used to, that was creative economy. Even looking at music, when we had Daddy Shoki, the creative economy has always been there. I think now a lot of things have changed now. We now have issues of intellectual properties. We now have issues of financing. And most importantly, we even have a lot more creators within that space. Like the barrier to entry is now very, very low. So as long as you have a smartphone and let's say you have a TikTok account or you have an Instagram account or YouTube page, you can start creating with whatever you have, wherever you are. So because of that, we are comparing the creative industry in Nigeria or in Africa, comparing it to what we have in the West, in America, in UK, in Canada, Africa still has a lot of work to be done. And that is why we had to have that report. We had to have those conversations. Like, this thing has always been there, quite all right. However, the landscape has evolved. The industry has evolved. AI is now here. How do creators navigate that world? A world of AI, where I could easily use AI to dub your sound and your music and say it's my own. So what are the intellectual property rights that protects the creators from? Because trust me, even what we have now, in the next 5 years, is certainly going to be different. So that is why we needed to have that conversation. That is why we needed to have that report out. So, yeah.
And we're having the conversation. So let's talk about some figures. Definitely, this is you doing the work and putting in some numbers. Actually on the creators' economy. So tell me about some key findings.
So when it comes to key findings, something that it wasn't really shocking. It was a bit expected, but not to the point that we saw. It was the fact that on TikTok alone, so TikTok is leading the pack now. Even everybody and their mom, my mom is on TikTok. I don't know why she's there. But
oh, wow.
I mean, she's consuming content there. And we found out that over 6.3 million Nigerian creators are on TikTok. That is a lot. I mean, how many are we in Nigeria? How many are we even in Lagos? Right? So the TikTok is leading the pack. And then we have Instagram.
Okay.
And then we have YouTube. However, we found out that even on YouTube, right, aside the top stars and the top creators that we know on YouTube, they are still, out of that, over like 54% of the creators on YouTube have less than 1,000 subscribers. So what that tells us is that even though they are the top stars on YouTube, YouTube creators, we still have a large number of micro or smaller creators rather, who are still holding the backbone of that platform when it comes to Nigeria. So the figures are quite interesting, and like I said, even by next year, certainly those figures will not be the same as they are now. But I think that's the interesting part of the industry, is the fact that what the figures you have in January of 2025 will be different from the figures you have in December of 2025. That's because a lot of people are seeing that, okay, I can make money from this thing. And which is even more interesting, even when we are talking about the avenues that people are using to make money off this industry, right? So on the top of the list, because even when we had that data, we found out that a lot of people still have their 9 to 5 aside, creative hustle and stuff. Which also showed us that there is still a lot of instability, because why would I want to resign my 9 to 5, which is giving me stable income, to face something that is not so certain that I would blow in 3 months, right? So there are still a lot of creators that still have their 9 to 5 on the side and are still pursuing their creative hustle on the side. And one of the areas that we found out that these creators were making money, the biggest part was from brand deals.
Oh.
Yeah. So, and even taking, let's say, Instagram, TikTok, or even YouTube, for instance, you see creators reaching out or saying, oh, I'm partnering with this brand, or this brand send me a prayer package, or just sponsored content around brands. And which leads me to the second aspect that creators are making money from, which is sponsorship deals.
Okay.
And now we have more creators that are selling digital products. Oh, how to blow in 10 days, 15K course on seller. Right? So we still have creators that are making money from the sales of digital products. And something that is becoming more common among creators is the fact that creators are beyond their creative side, maybe brand deals, sponsorships, and all that stuff. They are also making money from teaching. And let's say, what I call it, consultancies.
Yeah, more like.
Yeah, for brands. Brands says, okay, I have this a campaign I want to run, and we have creators that are coming in to help brands as part of a consultancy, on a consultancy level, to say, okay, I understand this landscape and this is what you should do. If you are going on TikTok, this is what you should do. These are the creators you should look out for. And also teaching other creators that's okay. And we find out that, okay, we find creators that maybe are big or huge on TikTok, maybe like 1 million followers, saying, oh, this is what you should do to have 1 million followers, and before you know it, they have a class, they have a WhatsApp group. Everybody is teaching and learning. And of course, you are paying to get on it. Definitely, you are paying to get on it. And which is the funny thing is that what they are paying, like what you as a fellow creator that is paying another creator for those classes or teachings would not be significant. So they make most of their money from the numbers. So if I'm charging 10K for a content creation course or video editing course, and I have, let's say, 2,000 people that have bought that 10K, that's 10,000 naira cost, and which will most likely last for a month, 4 weeks, at most 6 weeks, because what do I want to teach you as video editing for 6 weeks, right? And they come, get their money, go, come back again with a different course. They have the same numbers, and they're usually not expensive. 10K, 15K, you join, and they're making their money from it.
Interesting. The conversation is getting more and more interesting, but then let's take a quick break.
Okay, thank you.
All right, now we're going to a very short break. When we come back, the conversation on the creators' economy continues. Please stay with us.
Everybody has a stake in making the world a better place with love and compassion. As we thrive daily, we continue to strive to face the many challenges that faces our Earth, because together we all matter. On one side, we are exploring the captivating stories, the trends, the glamour, while on the other hand, we're looking at the love, the care and compassion from our champions. In our Stars Quiet Cove lies the burning passion for humanity, which is seldom known and unsung to the world. Join me on Famed to look at the flip side of your favorite beyond the regular.
All right, glad to know you're still here. This is still Untangle, and we are untangling Nigeria's 2025 Creators Economy Report right here with Michaella. All right, so you've been able to highlight some key findings.
Yeah.
And so let's talk about some interesting part of this as regards the creators or policymakers.
Yeah.
Thing is, the report is out there. It's been out for a few months now.
Yeah, a few months.
Good. And then from the beginning, you mentioned what it was trying to achieve.
Yeah.
So what's the progress so far? Have you been able to touch on the doors of the people you were really trying to touch on? Have you been able to get the necessary impact you were looking for from this report?
Yes, we have. So aside partnering with the NCAC, the report has also gotten to the Minister of Tourism, Art and Culture, and of course creative economy. And it also ties into what the ministry is also trying to achieve, which we have like some programs that even prior to the reports had already started coming up. We have the CEDF, we have the CLAP, which is Creator Leap Acceleration Program.
Yeah.
And we found out that the report gave more context as to what the ministry was trying to achieve. The result was more like a validation to, okay, this is what the ministry is trying to do. However, this report gives like concrete evidence that these programs, this funding is what the creator economy really needs. Because even from our report and our data, we found out that a lot of creators have issues when it comes to financing, intellectual property, and also that structure. Right? Because we have a lot of, because even when the financing is there will still be an issue of structure within the ecosystem that, okay, I have a creative enterprises now, or I have a creative enterprise, and investors want to come and invest. Of course, when investors come, they want to do their due diligence. What's the structure like? What are your financing? Like, what are the books? What's your hiring process like? What is your legal system like? So even with the financing, there still needs to be structure within that ecosystem.
Yeah.
And the ministry has done a great job in coming up with accelerator programs, and we are also trying to work in partnership with the ministry to also come up with more creative readiness programs for the creative economy. So in as much as the ministry will be giving the financings and fund, we can also come in terms of helping the creative enterprises have more structure, so that we are more or less coming in to help de-risk the funds that has been given to
out.
these creative enterprises. Because at the end of the day, you also want to be sure that, okay, the money I'm giving creative enterprise A is going to help that creative enterprise yield results. However, to get to that result, we need to make sure that there are structures that these creative enterprises have. So from business development to legal to financing, intellectual properties as well. So the result is giving us the traction that we need as an ecosystem.
Interesting. Okay, so that's one thing, and that's a good thing, definitely. But then let's talk about moving forward from now. Because one thing is, when such reports come out, of course, it brings the traction that is needed. But then, or probably we even get some of the things implemented, some of the things we're trying to implement, we get them implemented. But then after that, where do we go? What's the next, point of action? What should we look forward to? Yes, it provides, some good statistics for us to work with. People are able to know what to do next. Creators are able to know how to strategically, place themselves. But then after that, what next? What is the creators economy report trying to get, say, in the next 5 years?
So the thing with this is that with this report and everything that we are trying to achieve and we are currently achieving with the report, it's not a one-off thing. It's a continuous process, right? Because at the end of the day, there was financing for creative enterprises. We've helped them build sort of a structure. There will always be creative enterprises. So how do we ensure that whatever we are doing is a continuous process? So which leads me to my point of being in active collaboration, not just with the ministry, not just with NCAC, but also with creative enterprises and creators, right? So the more we continue to talk about these things, the more we continue to have conversations about these things, the more we continue to contribute to development of policies and legal systems to help the creator economy, the more we would continue to have that traction and results that we aim to achieve. So, because if you see, and most of the time what happens is that, okay, this thing is done and it's only done for a particular phase, and then we move on expecting that because we've done it, it should happen, right? But there is that place of continuous partnerships with the ministry, NCAC. It creates basically the ecosystem. So we can't just do it one-off and say, okay, we are done. And that is why, like I said, the reports, we worked on it, Takeout Media and Communicate. And these are two really strong creative ecosystems that we are trying to build, and communities, right? So constantly working, because at the end of the day, we might do something or something might be done and we say, okay, we did this thing, however, there are lapses here. So in the next phase, we are going to make sure we address those lapses. So it's a continuous process. That's the only way we can achieve tangible results in the next 5 years.
Interesting. Thank you so much for, sharing that. It's good to actually know that this is not the end of it. It's a continuous process. Really good to know. All right. So finally, before we round up, I'm sure since the Creators Economy Report was launched, you've heard different things from different people about it. So now, are there particularly some misunderstandings or some myths about this Creators Report you may want to, correct or debunk?
I don't think they are necessarily myth.
Okay.
Because starting from last year, this whole report started last year with the first African Creator Economy report, which we launched in 2024. Then the Nigeria Creator Economy, because we realized that, okay, we've done Africa. However, we are Nigerians.
Yeah.
What is actually going on within Nigeria? So that made us look deeper and get the Nigerian Creator Economy report done. And for this year, we also have the second version of the African Creator Economy report.
Okay.
And with the two reports that have been done so far, we've had positive response from thought leaders within the ecosystem saying, okay, there was never really concrete data when it comes to the African and Nigeria creator economy, and this result provides that data to help funders, help investors, and to help policymakers actually understand and know what they are doing and have more like validations to conversations that I've always had. So they are not necessarily myths that are there. We've been fortunate enough to have like really positive responses from creators, from ecosystem builders, from thought leaders, and even from the government as well. So I think we're in clear.
Interesting. So are there particular, you said you were open to, collaborating not just with policymakers, but also with organizations, creators themselves, and all of that. So is there a limit to, who you want to partner with, or do you have your eyes on, certain people you're looking out for?
I don't think there's a limit to who we want to partner with, because even if you're looking at the creator ecosystem, you have like the top creators out there, and we have creators who are still trying to find their feet. And even when we're conducting our interviews, in as much as we spoke to the top creators out there, we also try to talk to the emerging creators, as they are. I mean, as they're trying to enter this industry, what are the challenges that you are facing? Because the top creators, they've been there for a while. Yeah. They've been able to maneuver and navigate their way. However, the upcoming creators, what are the challenges that you are experiencing, and how can we channel that? And which is also something I'm very, very grateful about, that we have more creative communities that are coming up to actually, with like top creators, having conversations with emerging creators that, okay, when I was here where you are, these are the challenges that I faced. And Salem is someone that does it. Salem King is someone that does it very well.
Okay.
So more like telling creators, okay, this is what you should do, this is how you should go about it. And it's just a very beautiful thing to see that we are not building this ecosystem alone. In as much as people are still operating and doing what they can within their own communities, everything is contributing to the bigger goal of pushing the creator economy forward. So.
All right, thank you so much. Thank you to your organization, Takeout Media. Thank you to Communicate and
Mr.
to the NCAs.
Mr. David Adeleke as well.
Okay, thank you for creating the Nigerian Creators Economy Report. I'm sure moving forward from now, we'll be able to, have conversations within a global scale that, okay, these are the numbers we're ranging in, and, we'll be able to put our foot forward on the table.
Definitely.
Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Blessing, for having me.
And this is where we put a full stop on today's edition of Untangle. We've been able to successfully break down what the Nigerian Creators Economy Report 2025 is talking about. If you want to know more about it, you know where to get it. Go download, read, and ensure you have more informed conversations moving forward as regards the creators economy. Until next time, my name as always is Blessing Dagin. Bye for now.